Question 5 says, consider the following enrollment data for Scottsdale Community College, and then it gives you a bunch of numbers and years. After that, it says, for each student population, find a linear model such that X represents the years after 2000 and E represents the enrollment. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by making a table, and the input value for my table is the number of years after 2000. And then my output value is going to be number of enrolled students. And I'm going to have to kind of do this twice, but let's do this for the male students first. So in 2002, which is 2 years after 2000, there were 5,116 students, and then 5 years after 2000, there were 5,446. Now, you can think of these as ordered pairs, and if we do that, then we can use the slope formula to find our linear model. So I'm going to call this one x1, x2, y1, y2, and remember that our slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if I do that, then I get m equals 5,446 minus 5,116 over 5 minus 2. Now I'm going to go ahead and utilize a calculator to figure out what that value is. And then I want to divide that by 5 minus 2, which is 3. So it's 110. Okay, and that's where this value is coming from, because that is our slope. Now, I'm going to go ahead and erase all of this since we were able to figure out our slope. And now I need to figure out our b value. And the way that we're going to do that is by using the equation E equals 110x plus b. Now, we had two ordered pairs, so we could plug either of those into the equation. I'll just use this ordered pair. So I know that the enrollment was 5,116 2 years after 2000. So I'm replacing E with 5,116 and I'm replacing X with 2. And the B value is the thing that we're trying to figure out. So if I simplify this, now I'm going to subtract 220 from both sides and we end up getting B equals oops, that's not right. 4,896. Okay, so that's our B value. So that's where this is coming from here. So notice that this matches with that value there. Now, I'm not going to show the part for the female students because it works exactly the same way, and this is the answer that you should get for the female students if you do it correctly. Let's move on to the last part of this question where it says, in what year will these enrollments be the same, round to the nearest whole year? So we have two equations that we created. So the first one is E equals 110x plus 4,896. And the second equation is E equals 86x plus 5,333. Now, it's perfectly lined up so that if I subtract these two equations and I use the elimination method, E minus E is 0. And let's see, 110 minus 86 is 24. And then I want to do 4,896 minus 5,333. And that is negative 437. Okay, so from here I want to solve for x, so I'm going to add 437 to both sides. So we get 24x equals 437, and then I'm going to divide both sides by 24. So 437 divided by 24 gives us 18.2. So x equals 18.2. It tells us to round to the nearest whole year. So if I add this to 2000, 18.2 years later ends us up in a little bit after 2018. So like 2018 and some change. So that's where this answer is coming from. That is when the enrollments will be the same. And that concludes this question.